Hello and welcome to another episode of the eCommerce Odyssey podcast. I'm here with Raul Galera from Referral Candy, and we're going to talk about how you can grow your e-commerce sales using word-of-mouth marketing. So, Raul, my first question to you is, what is an e-commerce referral scheme? Down to basics. Pretend we know nothing.
Yeah, absolutely. First of all, thanks for having me. I would say that the first steps for any e-commerce store to kind of like launch a referral program is to acknowledge that there's word of mouth happening in their store. So, if you're an e-commerce business and you know that your customers are referring their friends, well, either because they are either telling your customer support team or because they're mentioning it on your reviews and your product reviews, product feedback, that's kind of like the first step to know that there's some sort of word of mouth activity happening in your store. So anything that you build on top of that, it's considered referral marketing. And so referral marketing can take several different shapes. The most typical one is for an e-commerce stores to set up a program in which they give each customer a unique referral link that they can share with their friends. And the friends taken on that referral link, they typically get a coupon code that they can use at checkout on their first purchase. And so that way you are incentivizing your customers to sell your product or sell your brands to their friends. Your friends become new customers. And at the same time, your existing customers, the one that made the recommendation, are getting something in return. Typically either a discount on a future purchase or some sort of gift or maybe a cash reward.
Okay, so how does it typically work? Can you just go through the process of how do you get people to sign up? What's the process flow?
Yeah, so the first thing that we always recommend merchants to do once they launch a referral program is to invite past customers to join the program, because by the time you're thinking about launching a program, you've probably been in business for several years, probably, or at least a few months. And so you probably have a decent email size in terms of email list size, in terms of like either blog subscribers or past customers that have bought from you in the past. So you can use that list to promote your new referral program to those customers that have bought from you in the past, and they're well aware of how your product works, and they're also well aware of how they can sell your product to their friends and family. So that's the first step, is to notify past customers. The second step is to create an automated system to automatically invite customers to join the referral program, typically after a purchase. So it could either be that you show them a pop-up at the checkout or at the thank you page, and invite them to join the referral program, or just give them the referral link right away, or with an automated system, an automated email that automatically invites them to join the program, either after the purchase or after they have received the product. And then the third option is to make it, make it public, in the sense of create some sort of either sign up form or sign up widget on your site, so website visitors can join the referral program, get a referral link, and start referring their friends, even if they're not your customers. This kind of like last option, it's an easy way of converting traffic from people that are on your site but are probably not your target customers. So if let's say I play basketball but I don't play soccer, but I have a lot of friends that play soccer, and so if I happen to land on your website that sells soccer products, and you offer me the possibility of either getting some sort of reward for referring friends and also giving my friends a discount on their first purchase, I'm probably gonna sign up for the program, get a referral link, and share your site with my friends. So it's a way of converting traffic that in other options, or in other situations, it might have not converted into a sale.
Okay, so what is the difference between affiliate marketing and referral marketing?
I would say there's a couple differences in terms of, first of all, in terms of the relationship between the people sending the message and the people receiving the message, and then also in terms of the reward structure. So I'll start with the relationship part. In an affiliate program, we're typically talking about people that have maybe a specialized blog or a website where they publish content about one particular industry or niche, or a YouTube channel or a podcast, whatever it is, something in which they have an audience that is listening or reading them. And in this type of programs, these people that have this audience, they typically place referral links on the content, whether it's on a YouTube, video description or on a blog post, and they are incentivizing their readers or their audience to buy whatever product it is through their referral link or through their affiliate link, so they can get rewarded. The most kind of typical example of this is Amazon's affiliate program. So you might land on a blog post that talks about let's say the best 10 travel gear or 10 travel gadgets that you need to buy this year, and each one of them has a referral link or an affiliate link to go to maybe an Amazon page and buy from there. So that's probably the most typical one. And in those cases, the person that's making the recommendation and the person that's receiving it, they don't know each other personally. If somebody has a YouTube channel, they're just putting a recommendation out there. The person that's receiving the recommendation doesn't actually know the person that's making it. They're aware of them. They're familiar with them, but they're not necessarily part of their kind of like close circle of family, friends, or coworkers. In a referral program, on the other hand, referrals happen in that very close circle. So somebody might refer a product or might recommend a product or a service or a brand to a friend, to a family member, to a coworker, but it's somebody that's in a very, very close circle. So also those recommendations have a lot more power because you trust that person no matter what. You know that if that person is recommending a product to you, it's because they legit think that it's going to be beneficial for you. Even if they're getting something out of it. Nobody would recommend a bad product to a friend or a family member just to get $20 out of it.
It's kind of one-to-one as opposed to one-to-many, is what you're saying.
Exactly. That's exactly right. And so in terms of relationship, that's the main difference. And then in terms of not always, but affiliate programs typically put most of the rewards on the affiliate side, on the person that's making the recommendation. They're the ones that are getting the most out of that transaction. The person that's getting product recommendation and it's making the purchase might not get an incentive or might not get a discount because most of it is laying on the affiliate side. On the referral programs are typically either the same, so give 20%, get 20%, something along those lines, or they put more emphasis on the friend offer because they know that referrers are going to refer their friends almost no matter what. If they think that the product's beneficial or if they think that they can provide something valuable to their friends and family, they're still going to recommend it. So sometimes it's about converting that friend into a new customer rather than giving some sort of commission or financial incentive to the customer.
Okay. So can you give me examples of a good referral schemes? Have you got any case studies you can discuss about things that have worked well?
Yeah, absolutely. So I would say the ones that have worked the best are those that are able to match the reward to their customers' behavior. So if you are on a subscription service, so if you're providing a subscription box, the best kind of reward structure that I've seen is the one that typically gives maybe a free monthly subscription to the person that's making the recommendation and makes it easy for the friend to get hooked into the subscription by giving them, let's say, 50% off their first purchase. And we've actually had a few case studies of examples that are exactly like that. Like they give a massive discount to the friend just to get them to buy that first box and get them engaged and kind of like look forward to the next month. And then rewarding their existing customers by giving them a free subscription on the following month. If you're not selling subscription, but you're still selling a product that your customers can buy on a regular basis, you can use a similar approach by giving discounts to both the friend and the existing customers. And that way you are not only attracting new customers by, again, incentivizing your customers to refer their friends and convert those into customers, but also you're retaining your existing customers, because if you're giving them a discount on their next purchase for every friend they refer, they're not even going to think about going in the competition. Now they have an additional reason to go back to your store and buy from you again.
Is it quite an expensive way of acquiring customers though? Because it sounds like you're giving like a double discount. You're giving away quite a lot.
It is, you're giving a double discount, but I don't think it's expensive at all, especially if you compare it to other customer acquisition channels, because on referrals, you are paying 100%, you're paying based on performance. So you are not paying per clips, you're not paying for impressions, you're paying for purchases, and you're only paying for purchases once the purchase that's taking place. You're giving a discount only on the first purchase. You have acquired that customer, and that customer, if your product's good, if you're providing a good purchase experience, your customer is likely to come back and buy from you again. So it's probably the most cost-effective channel for customer acquisition and retention because of that kind of like performance-based model in which you don't have to set a budget and then hope that, let's say, your ad campaign works well enough that you're attracting customer. Here it's just you're only paying for what you're acquiring, and then customers that have been acquired through referrals are more likely to stay longer and spend more than customers acquired through other channels. So in the long run, it's going to affect the bottom line of your business.
Okay. So what kind of verticals have you found that this works well for? Because so for example, does it work better for direct to consumer brands or kind of more traditional retailers, or what kind of is it fashion? Is it subscription boxes? What works best?
Yeah. So I would say that, definitely D2C, that's what, also that's kind of what we work with. So that's what typically works the best. For traditional retail, kind of like a brick and mortar retail.
No, I mean more like a company that sells other people's products, doesn't make products.
Oh, I see.
Like Amazon, for example. Or not right. Amazon, but like, I don't know, Walmart, but smaller.
Right. I think for referral marketing, D2C works best, mostly because, referral marketing should be a part of kind of like a wider strategy from the brand to, kind of like absorb as much customer satisfaction or create as much customer satisfaction as possible. So like I said earlier, if you have a good product, if you have a good purchase experience, and by purchase experience, I mean that even if something went wrong, your customer support team is there to proactively solve the problem. Your customers are going to be happy, and they're going to be likely to refer, and they're going to be likely to come back to your store and buy again. So if you have all those things in place, referral marketing can amplify that. Referral marketing is not necessarily going to solve a problem. Like if you have referral marketing, it's not going to solve, your bad reviews or your, bad customer satisfaction. So it's something that's already it's amplifying the effect of your product and your brand is doing on your customers. But that being said, yeah. So in terms of how to sorry, what's the question again?
Sorry, what verticals does referral marketing work best for?
Exactly. Yeah. So as long as you have that kind of like bottom line cover, I would say, yeah, D2C brands work best because they are trying to build that kind of like community around your brand, and they kind of like create a community around their customer base around the brand. So in terms of industries, I would say products that are very referable are those that have kind of like a strong visual component. So fashion works really well because it's something that we wear, and something that, it's easy to kind of like start a conversation around there. Your friends might ask you where you got that, that t-shirt, or where you got that dress. So fashion is one of them that works really well. Gadgets, anything related to technology also tends to work really well, especially because most of the time when we make technology related purchases, we tend to ask people around us, if they have any experience buying those products, or if they've heard anything about whatever product that we're trying to buy, or if we buy a new kind of like gadget or new product, something kind of innovative, we're likely to talk about it and show it to our friends. But beyond that, we've honestly seen referral marketing work kind of across the board. We've had companies selling cleaning products. We've had companies selling, like I said, technology products, furniture. It's honestly, I haven't really seen an industry for which referral marketing hasn't worked well. It's more about having a good product and having happy customers that are willing to refer you. The industry, it's not necessarily a driver for.
Do you get situations whereby people actually advertise their referral scheme without people who haven't made a purchase, and say, look, join our referral scheme? They would just recruit referrers in a kind of a Amway kind of multi-level marketing kind of way. We just specifically recruit referrers with into your. Because would this replace also? Could it replace an affiliate scheme or not?
I mean, it definitely could. And actually, but more than replacing, actually something that we've seen a lot recently is that companies are running two referral with Referral Candy. They're using two referral programs, and they're running them on parallel. One of them for customers. So let's say you make a purchase, and then after the purchase, you get an email inviting you to join the referral program and get a referral link and start referring your friends. And that referral program typically has a structure in which both the customer and the friend get a discount. And they're also running another program in parallel, which is more kind of like private in the sense of it's invitation only. And that second program might have a cash reward instead of a discount reward for the advocate that's making the recommendation. And that program it's typically designed for maybe influencers. So if they're working with influencers, instead of maybe paying for content, just for the content, they are getting them into this system in which they can get paid a commission for every sale they generate. And so they have kind of like these two different programs with different rewards running in parallel, and to kind of like attract different types of either affiliates or influencers or just regular customers that are referring their friends.
Okay, so nuts and bolts now. What is the best way to run a referral scheme? Now, I know obviously you have a platform for this, but I mean, what is if someone was to say use your platform, decide they want to run a referral scheme, what are the steps they need to take to get it running?
Yeah. So, I mean, again, whether you're using Referral Candy or using a different tool, the steps are probably going to be very similar. The first step is going to be to design your referral structure, and that's probably the most important part of your program. It's kind of like getting that right. And so once again, it's just a matter of looking at your customers' behavior and seeing what's going to be a reward structure that's going to incentivize them to refer their friends. So if you're selling a product that your customers can buy on a regular basis, give them a discount, so they're incentivized not only to refer but to buy from you for the next time. If you're selling a product that your customers are probably not going to buy anytime soon, I always give the same example, which is if you're selling mattresses, for example, or if you're selling kind of like expensive furniture, maybe something your customers are probably not going to buy. They're not going to buy a closet every 6 months or every year.
Yeah.
Maybe give them cash. And in exchange for referring their friends. And so getting that part right, I mean, you can always do iterations and you can always test, but getting that part right, I would say it's 50% of the success. And then the other part, it's something that's typically overlooked, in my opinion. It's a promotion. So just because you have a referral program, just because you told your customers once that you have a referral program, don't assume that they're going to remember it. Make sure that you are constantly letting your customers know about your referral program, letting them know that it's something they can benefit from, whether it's on email or social media or whatever other channel that you're using to communicate with your customers. Make sure that they remember, because it's part of a study that we saw a few years ago, is that if you run a net promoter score survey on your customers and you ask them, how willing are you to refer us, and let's say that you get that 9 out of 10 customers are likely to refer you to their friends and family, only a fraction of them are actually going to end up referring you because life happens. There's a lot of things that happen in our daily lives and we just forget. So if you have a somewhat constant reminder for your customers to make sure that they, whenever the situation arises, that they are either wearing your brand or they are using your product, and they have a friend around them or a coworker or a family member, they don't miss the opportunity of showing it to them and kind of like, becoming your salesperson, basically.
I mean, could you put like a little barcode or something on the scan this to put something on the product, as opposed to, this is where I got it from. Get 10% off.
Interesting. Actually, we have some customers that, some brands that what they've done is that they are including, so they might be running an automated email reminder system through Referral Candy, and they probably have our widgets activated too, but they're also printing a page with a QR code to the join page, and they're putting that inside of the packaging. So you're probably not going to get as much attention from a customer as when, compared to when they're actually opening your product like that. That's a moment that they're actually enjoying, and they want to see the product, they want to do the whole unboxing experience. So if you add a card in there with maybe a QR code or either just kind of like a website they can visit to join the referral program, you're very likely to get their attention and very likely to get them to sign up for the program. And that's something that we've seen a bunch of merchants do, and it actually works really well for them.
Okay, because I've always thought something like, sometimes I watch TV programs, I thought, I wish I knew where they got that shirt from. I think they miss a trick on things like that.
Yep.
So have you finished? Have you got any more tips for launching a referral program? You're saying.
Yeah, I would say rewards, promotion, and obviously, as I mentioned earlier, I guess the next step of building a referral program, kind of like the ultimate way of having a successful referral program, is to build a community around your customer base. And this is not only going to help you with your referral program performance, but it's going to help you in general as a brand. If you are able to engage with your customers, in a context that goes beyond your products, that's going to help you in the long run to create a loyal community of customers that are not only going to keep buying from you, but they're going to become advocates, and they're going to kind of like help you, further develop your brand. An example of creating a community could either be a physical community. We've seen it on Facebook groups, Slack channels, or it could either be just that you are creating content and you're sharing that content with a community of customers. And it's not promotional content. It's content that you're creating to address their interests or address their passions, or whatever it is that they all have in common with you. For example, if you are selling, same example as earlier, if you're selling soccer shoes or like soccer material, what your customers have in common, it's not only that they like your products, what they have in common is that they like soccer. So if I can create a community in which you are providing them with content about soccer, or giving them a platform so they can interact with each other, in the long run, obviously assuming that you're doing everything else right, again, your customers are happy with your product, and they're happy to buy from you, happy to become your advocates, they're going to be happy to join your community. We actually have one customer that's selling in the UK. They're selling books on a subscription basis. It's kind of like every month you get a box with 5 surprise books that you've probably never heard of before. And what they've done is they have created a book club on Facebook. And so now they have a community with hundreds of members that they are just literally discussing books, and they are engaging in that community to give ideas to each other and kind of like leave reviews and all that kind of stuff. And it's all under the umbrella of the brand. So activities like that, they might take a while to get them set up and get them to ramp up, but it's going to definitely help with your branding in the long run.
Okay. So how do you measure success in a referral scheme? I mean, what would you consider to be a successful referral scheme?
We look at revenue and we look at orders. So we have a formula that we use that's called the referral rate, which measures the percentage of referral orders that are coming from referrals compared to the total number of sales, total number of orders that you've generated in a single month. And that gives you the referral rate, and also gives you, if you're measuring that, instead of looking at orders, you're measuring that in terms of revenue. So referral revenue divided by total revenue in that month. It's giving you what's the new revenue that you're generating from the referral program. Because one thing that a lot of merchants sometimes get kind of like confused is that, let's say when you are running, you're sending an email blast, or you're sending kind of like a promotion over email, and you get X amount of revenue from that. That's revenue from existing customers that are part of your email list, and they're buying from you again. So it's kind of like retention revenue that you're generating. But in a referral program, all the revenue that you're generating, it's from new customers. So it's revenue from customers that are buying from you for the first time, and therefore they're likely to continue buying from you over the next few months. But that's not going to be considered referral revenue. We're only tracking kind of like the first revenue that you generate from those new customers. And so in terms of benchmarks, we always say that if you set up the rewards correctly, and if you set up some sort of a promotion cadence to make sure that your customers are being reminded about the program, at least be able to see a 2% referral rate every month. So at least like a 2% increase in new revenue every month. Now, that's kind of like a bottom line that we typically see, but I've seen case studies of over 30%, so over a third of the sales coming are coming from the referral program, which is, I would say that's kind of an outlier. It's not common for a referral program to reach that percentage of monthly sales. But I would say that among our best customers, 10%, it's fairly common. So
okay, so 10% is it could be possible.
Okay,
that's nice to have.
Yeah.
Okay, that sounds something worth investigating for e-commerce businesses. So great. I think we've learned a lot about referral schemes, but I've got one last question here. Have you got what's inspired you recently? Have you got any tips for us? Good films, good books?
Yeah. So
I don't know, anything.
In terms of books, so for nonfiction, I am reading the whole Inserto saga again from Nassim Taleb. So Fooled by Randomness, Black Swan, Antifragile. I'm on Antifragile right now. I think that in the fourth one is the skin in the game. I recommend anybody to give them a try. They're not the easiest book to read, but they're definitely.
I got halfway through just about all of them, and I felt I had enough.
What do you think about it?
I think he's very interesting. He's very full of himself, I think.
That's why I meant.
Yeah. He very much sees himself in the kind of tradition of ancient philosophers. He very much sees himself as a kind of like the heir to, the Greeks or something like that. And I mean, he's written a book of maxims, like pithy phrases. And that's quite Nietzsche did that, it's quite, he's saying I'm as great as Nietzsche, I'm as great as Socrates a little bit. I mean, I think that they're very interesting. I think I'm not sure if I really understood Antifragile. And I think that, it's a while since I read it, but they were very good. He's a real original thinker.
Yeah, for sure. And so this is the second time that I'm reading them. I'm in the middle of Antifragile, and I'm catching things that I didn't catch the first time I read them. So I feel like that's gonna happen on the third time, the fourth time. So I'm trying to read them once a year for the next few years.
You're a real super fan.
Oh yeah, I am. And so I'm trying to make sure, because there are things that I definitely didn't catch the first time. I'm sure there are things that I'm not catching now, but maybe in a year from now. I think it's also a book that improves with your own experience, because once you're reading it, you can kind of maybe like identify examples of what he's trying to explain, or So I think it's a pretty rich book. But I always like to read nonfiction in between. Sorry, I mean fiction in between.
So what fiction book have you read?
Give my brain a rest. So I discovered this guy. I have it here, the name, Blake Crouch, and so he has a book called Dark Matter, which is the first one that I read from him. It's a novel, and it's about kind of like parallel universes and parallel realities, and that's kind of what he likes.
It sounds like. Have you seen Everything Everywhere All at Once? That new film?
No, I haven't.
You heard of it? Everything Everywhere All at Once.
No.
That's a film. I was watching it last night. I haven't finished it.
I've heard of it, but I haven't watched it yet. Is it good?
Oh, I'm halfway through. It's interesting. It's got lots of parallel universes and stuff.
Okay. Yeah.
I'll send you an email in a few days when I finish watching it.
Cool. Sounds good. Yeah, looking forward to that. Dark Matter is really good, and then he has another one called Recursion that I just finished. That it's about time travel and like different timelines, and kind of like playing with time travel in that sense of how kind of like how you can change the past to create crazy consequences in the future.
You can. That's I like a good bit of sci-fi. There's some great recommendations though. Thanks, Raul. Great. Well, lovely to speak to you. And your company's Referral Candy. People should check it out.
Absolutely. Yeah, they can check us out on referralcandy.com. And if they want to reach me, I'm always available on LinkedIn. So yeah, happy to continue the conversation there.
Great. Okay. Goodbye. Nice to talk to you.